Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Thank you. That's the energy I like. When I was in grade 9, after my tuition hours, my friend offered an ad hoc invite to his home for a dinner. His mom was serving us. There was only one yummy chicken leg piece, which was specially prepared for him. Surprisingly, she served it to me. If you were that friend, what would be your reaction? Did you understand? Understood? What would be your reaction? I could see Karnakaran smiling. That is your reaction, I guess. So I spoke to him the next day. Don't you feel bad? He replied, thank you ate it. Oh my God, you ate it. Why did he say that you ate it? He was very happy that you ate it. Sorry? As soon as I left his house, his mom ordered a bucket of chicken from KFC. Emotions are sometimes simply ineffable. Just like we throw the chicken bone into the dustbin, in a similar fashion, today you are going to throw away the political opinions and the religious differences and even the sexual thoughts outside of this hall. If you wish to step out or step in, do so. No one is going to stop you. But when you hear an applause, kindly turn off your mobile phones to silent mode. Here comes the second story of this evening. For years, I think she didn't distribute the chocolates to her classmates on her birthday. Why? Because her birthday falls on summer break. So she decided to fill this gap. She invited all her friends to her home for a birthday celebration when she was in college. Believe it or not, that was one of the best birthday moments of her life. The house was completely laughter, delicious food, refreshing drinks. But one thing was missing. Can anyone guess what was that? That's a good one. Her mom was super busy in kitchen. She forgot to wish her daughter. Despite she didn't wish orally, the daughter whom we are speaking, she sensed her wishes that has directly flown from her heart. Mother's love is just ineffable. Let us welcome that daughter and currently the motherly figure for our club, Madam President Toastmaster Amrith Kaur. With a big round of applause.
Thank you, Toastmaster Imtiaz, for sharing that story. Well, I'm definitely not motherly. Very young to have any of those feelings. But one thing I learned from that incident is that even if you don't see the words coming, you see the gestures of other people. And today, I appreciate the gesture of coming early to encourage the new joinees of our club. Welcome, Toastmasters and dear guests.
Good evening.
Good evening. Today is a big day because 9 new members are joining the Bangalore Toastmasters, the legendary club. Now, whenever there is an induction, it takes me back to my induction event. Does it happen with you? No?
Yes.
Okay. I remember that excitement and enthusiasm that I had when I joined the club. So ladies and gentlemen, please help me in inviting our Vice President membership who will be taking the induction process. Please give him a big round of applause.
Thank you. Toastmaster Amrith. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
So whenever a new member wishes to join our club, it's our duty and privilege to elect the new members. And today is that day, 8th of May, and we have 9 members to be elected today. When voices, we look for fresh voices, new blood into the club, so that we grow as a club stronger every time. Yeah? And in general, many of us have this resolution in a calendar year, but what is unique to these members is they follow financial year. So they have this resolution for financial year to join, do something, never too late to start. And without much ado, I would call out the names in alphabetical order. To start with somebody who works as a senior manager, agribusiness at Amazon. He brings strategic insights and leadership, has a strong belief in effective communication. He's a Toastmaster since 2013, part of the Chennai Toastmasters Club and Chennai Speakers Forum. So he now returns with the renewed. So Chennai is finished now with Bangalore Club. So it's Bangalore Toastmasters Club. So please join me in giving a warm welcome to Toastmaster Anirudh Narasimhan. Join him on stage. You will have other people also. Next we have is someone who is a software developer at the GSK, Blackstone Client. Combines technical problem with analytical solutions. He has a growth mindset. So beyond work, you will see he's a fitness freak and he likes long bike rides. With Toastmaster, he aims to come out of his comfort zone. Let's give him a big round of applause. Let's join me in welcoming Toastmaster Nitin. Okay, so next we have someone who is an advocate in his own practice. We already have advocate as members. So he is very disciplined, thoughtful in his approach and purpose, which quite reflects in his way. And he likes reading autobiographies and long road journeys. And through transformation, he wants to find his voice, build confidence, and express ideas. He is a proud graduate of our Speechcraft Cup 26 batch. So please join me in giving a warm welcome to Toastmaster Mahadeshwar Devek. We have someone who is a project sales. He works as a project sales with Zen Plus, and he works in something which is innovative, growing the smart home industry. That's something which is in buzzword now, smart home. So he's a practical. He's originally from Kerala, now in Bangalore. He's on his journey for self-discovery. He wants to come out of comfort zone, make new connection, and also he's very curious of learning new things. Self-improvement as well. So he is also a Speechcraft graduate. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Toastmaster Mohammed Shamas. Okay. So next is someone who is a postgraduate in NIT Ahmedabad. You have seen him on stage a couple of times. So he works as a senior grade experience. So through his design story, he is already explaining story. But now he is here, Toastmasters specifically, to find his voice, passion, and he wants to express that story with his communication. Design he has already included. And he's already been doing well in Toastmasters. And of course, he wants to be a good speaker and leader. Because of the busy schedule, he could not attend our previous induction. But it's never too late to induct you and introduce you to the club. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Toastmaster Naveen Revanasiddhappa. Okay, so next we have someone who is born in Prayagraj, grew up across India, and adapting culturally to different states. She is a foodie, amateur cook, and a creative soul. She enjoys painting and reading fiction, especially Harry Potter. She works as a strategy and operations consultant in media and entertainment. She is here to find her voice and come out of that stage fear and so on. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Toastmaster Nimisha Anand. So next we have somebody, I think we already have advocates announced. We also have HR person. So we already have some HRs in the club. Somebody who works as a senior executive in human resource in GPS renewables. She's passionate about what she's doing, private work. She's an MBA from Pune University and she's done biotechnology from University of Mumbai. And she blends science and human insights. She's a trekker and reader. Mostly she likes doing outdoor. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Toastmaster Prachi Wangikar. So next we have someone who is an entrepreneur in the polymer industry. It means innovation, curiosity, forward thinking in his work. He's a passionate explorer. He likes culture, languages, cuisines. And he likes to read a lot of books. He's a learner and dreamer and wants to have a meaningful conversation. He's also a proud graduate of a Speechcraft Feb 26 batch. He is not just a good speaker, but he's also a very encouraging audience member. And you'll see why I'm saying that. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Toastmaster Sri Harsha Undavan. Last but not the least, he's a software engineer at Siemens, mechanical engineering graduate from IIT Varanasi. He already covered Prayagraj, now it's Varanasi. He's always interested in public speaking and he wants to step out of his comfort zone, and there's no other better platform than this. Right? And his enthusiasm, curiosity, growth mindset. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Toastmaster Tejas Tomar. So now I would request all of you to please withhold your applause until the ceremony is completed. So you are joining an international organization that not only helps build communication but also your issues. You're joining the legendary and historic Bangalore Toastmasters Club. This is one of the oldest and second oldest in India and largest club in terms of members. I, as a VP membership on behalf of our committee, joy in welcoming you into our club. Now I request Toastmaster Srinivas, our VP Education, do you concur with me that their members have already been assigned? Yes. Thank you. And do you concur with me that DTM Jayanand, DTM Shashank Bhatt, Toastmaster Nitin, Toastmaster Shiv Kumar, Toastmaster Chaitra, Toastmaster Abhay, Toastmaster Skidar Thomas are members of their new members? Yes. Thank you. Okay, will the mentors kindly stand up if they are present? You can initiate if you are second one. So, will you take responsibility of mentorship and pledge to share your knowledge and experience with our new members?
Yes.
Thank you. Please be seated. Membership in this club is privileged and also responsible, which means you have to be prepared, come attend meetings regularly, and you also have to bring a new thoughts, perspective, your inputs to make this club grow even stronger. So now I request you to please raise your right hand forward, and please repeat the pledge. Initially, I.
I Anirudh. I Nikit. I Mahadeshwara. I Shyammas. I Naveen.
I Manisha. I Catch.
I Sriharsha. I Tejas.
In the presence of my fellow members
In the presence of my fellow members
of the Bangalore Toastmasters Club,
of the Bangalore Toastmasters Club,
make this firm obligation
make this firm obligation
to attend meetings regularly
to attend meetings regularly
and fully prepare
and fully prepare
for each assignment,
for each assignment,
to apply myself to the project
to apply myself to the project
outlined in the Toastmasters
outlined in the Toastmasters
education program,
education program,
to participate actively
to participate actively
in club activities,
in club activities,
to evaluate others
to evaluate others
in a positive
in a positive
and constructive manner,
and constructive manner,
to build open,
to build open,
friendly relationship
friendly relationships
with my fellow members,
with my fellow members,
and to bring other new members
and bring other new members
into the club
into the club
so that they can
so that they can
also gain the benefits
also receive the benefits
of Toastmasters.
of Toastmasters.
Thank you. So now I ask only the members of the club to please stand up. Can you please put your right hand forward to take the oath and kindly repeat after me. We the members of Bangalore Toastmasters Club
We, the members of Bangalore Toastmasters Club,
pledge to support you
pledge to support you
in your quest
in your quest
for self-development,
for self-development,
to provide you with
to provide you with
positive, helpful evaluations,
helpful evaluations,
to maintain
to maintain
a friendly,
friendly,
supportive atmosphere,
supportive atmosphere,
to give you opportunities
to give you opportunities
to help others,
and
to make your Toastmaster membership
Toastmaster membership
a rewarding
a rewarding
and fulfilling experience.
and fulfilling experience.
Thank you very much. Please be seated. So it's now my pleasure to declare you installed as members of the Bangalore Toastmasters Club.
Thank you.
So now I request our President, Toastmaster Amrith Kaur, to please greet the newly elected members. We look forward to hearing more about you and giving your icebreaker speeches in the coming days. Wish you all the best. Please take your seats. A big round of applause by the Thank you. So now it's time to hand over the lecture back to our President, Toastmaster Amrith Kaur. Thank you.
Suddenly the stage looked smaller, right, today? Yes. Yeah, I mean, Karunakar, you have been here for a very long time and become old, huh? Chocolate boy. Oh, so the chocolate boy is not coming to the club very often then. So we are seeing you after a very long time. Okay, so can we once again have a big round of applause for our VP President membership and all the new members. I wish all the new members a beautiful journey at Bangalore Toastmasters Club and working together as a family. Now let's move forward with the meeting, and I invite our Secretary Toastmaster Abhinava to read out the minutes of meeting. Previously.
Good evening. Good evening, dear Toastmasters and guests. And how are we doing today? Great. I love the energy. The last week's, to put the entire works of the last week's meeting and the effort put by everyone and every role taker is ineffable. The enthusiasm, I loved it, and I would like to share it with you. The theme of the last week's meeting was from effort to excellence. The word of the day was perseverance, which meant continued effort despite the great difficulties. The number of members present were 28, the number of guests present was 10. The awardees for the last week's meeting are as follows, with the Best Speaker Award going to DTM Rashdeep Manwani, the Best Evaluator Award going to Toastmaster Pradeep Padmanabhan, the Best Role Taker Award going to our distinguished Toastmaster Vijay Anand, the Best Auxiliary Role Taker going to our Toastmaster Shreya Sadhgul for the grammarian role, and the Best Table Topic Award going to Toastmaster Puneet Surana. With that, I hand it back to our gracious president.
Thank you. Are there any changes, members? I pass minutes of meeting. Minutes of meeting stand passed, and I also officially call to order meeting number 1526. Thank you. Now I can see few new faces. Can I request all the guests to please stand up? Okay. Thank you for joining the meeting today. And members, how do we welcome our guests? We have a guest book. Please, I request all of you to please write your names and phone numbers. May I request our current committee members to please stand up. Guests, if you have any questions, please approach any of the committee members during the break or after the meeting to know more about Toastmasters or Speechcraft. Thank you, everyone. Once, there was a lovely and lively little girl who lived in a small village in Punjab. She was very young when her father passed away. Her mother and her elder brother raised the family. Soon after she completed her schooling, she also started working at a printing press to support the family. This made her extremely reliable and respectful very early in her age. As she grew older, she got married to an officer in Indian Air Force. Until then, she had never stepped out of her village. A few days after her marriage, she traveled from her village to Guwahati on a 2 to 3 days of overnight journey. And she landed on Air Force campus. She opened and welcomed her new life with a lot of joy and excitement. For the next 10 years, she had 5 children. I am one of them. Her name is Suraj, which she got from her husband after she got married. But she likes to be called by her maiden name, Pimla, which she got from her parents. At the campus, she was the life of every event. She would participate and be available for everyone who would need her, while also taking care of the family. Many times she would go and teach the Jawan's wife at Women's Welfare Association, and for those special occasions, she would drape a sari. And we children would look at her and admire her because she looked beautiful. And perhaps from her, I have got my love for saris. And just like her, I also wear it only for special occasions. She is an absolute people's person. And this was evident whenever we would get transferred from one place to another. Because on our last day or before that, a lot of people, like almost a crowd, will gather around all of us. And we would look at our father and be like, okay, we know most of them, but where did all of them, how did they all come here? So we just knew them, but my mother remained and created a connection with all those people. She is such a people's person that she remembers everybody's birthdays, their anniversaries, and also their phone numbers. She has the numbers on her phone, but she never checks it, she always dials the number. In fact, she is also extremely good with her calculations, like big calculations. By the time we would open the calculator, she has already calculated things in her mind, all multiplication, division, and gives the answer. And we are wondering how. We always ask, how you can do it, Mom? And then she gives a smile and says, I was really good with mathematics when I was a child. I think I have picked my love for maths from her, but I'm not good with calculations. I have learned almost endless things from my mother. I've learned to be kind, loving and caring, but also be independent. I've learned to be reliable and patient and to follow God's plan, but also not to sit but chase my dreams. Once I asked my mom, Mom, you have traveled most part of India, you've traveled abroad, you have raised successfully, looking at me, 5 kids, do you still have any wish left? She looked at me and smiled and said, well, no, I think whatever I wished for, I got it. But just moments later, I saw her teary-eyed and I asked her, Mom, what is it? And she said that I wish I can spend some more time with my father, and I wish I had continued my studies after schooling. That day, I did not see her as my mother. I saw her as a little child, a child who wishes for the things which she missed in her childhood. For anyone, 5 minutes is a very less time to speak about their mother, because a child and a mother shares an ineffable relationship. But we will move on. And I'm going to invite someone here who lost his mother when he was very young. He was only 4 years old. He was raised by his father and his elder sister, and he has a deep connection with both of them. His sister is his biggest friend. I have seen their beautiful bond, and not just his sister, but all his sister's friends treat him like their younger brother. Perhaps that is why I find him full of warmth, care and tenderness, and especially towards women. He's extremely kind with women. He also believes in upskilling himself all the time. Once he heard Mujita Devekar in a workshop that girls should always marry a guy who can make khichdi. And he took it very seriously and upskilled him by learning 100 varieties of khichdi. So he can make. So all the young girls, all the unmarried girls, I hope you're listening. In the year 2025 and 26, he also participated in the leadership development program that is run by District 92. And during the program, he created a Toastmasters value handbook, and he is currently coaching a newly chartered club, Atkins Achievers. He's a podcast runner, and he is currently a sales lead at Just Dial. A dynamic personality and a caring and loving person. Ladies and gentlemen, please join your hands in welcoming Toastmaster Puneet Surana.
That's quite an introduction. I think I'll just continue what Amrith left us with and regale you some stories of my grandmom. Because like Amrith said, she was a big part in my growing up. And we are celebrating Mother's Day this evening. I was just thinking which mother to pick. There's so many different mothers that nurture us, that grow us, that take care of us. Whether it's Mother Nature, whether it's Mother India, whether it's your mother, your mother's mother, your dad's mother, the aunties in your locality, the aunties in your family. I mean, there's no dearth of mothers in Indian society. That's a blessing that we take for granted. One such that I took for granted for the longest time as a kid was my grandmother. She raised me from the age of 8 years all the way till my college days. And she was the embodiment of what it meant to be a strict yet soft grandmother. And the lessons I learned from her have stayed with me. And today is a good day as a tribute to her, and then I'll try and get to the meeting. I will get to the meeting, don't I? My grandmother's name was Kheli Bai Surana, but everybody would just call her Bai. It sort of, I don't know when it started, but sort of just picked up, and we kids would also call her Bai, which was technically wrong. It was just meant for her age group to call her Bai. And she was the embodiment of what it meant to be the head of a Marwadi household. She was probably 4 or 5, but she would make sure every single one of her 9 kids, and I don't know how many grandkids and the rest of the community listens to her. And she was the embodiment of Marwadiness. Because I would support her in the kitchen sometimes. We had a large family, and I could see the small aspects that made our family move. She would boil rice and use the ganji in the dal. She would always have extra buffers in her roti ka dabba, just in case somebody arrives. And she would repurpose those rotis into khakras that could be used whenever there was requirement. Let's say there's tea and you need something along with it, or there's shortage of food, use those khakras back with dahi and there's a meal right there. Every Diwali, I would see her spend hours asking each of her sons to give the kachra from their showrooms. And after Diwali for 2 to 3 weeks, it would be her evening time where she would go through the kachras and take out small objects of gold, stones. It's only much later when she passed on that we got to know that she had accumulated 33 grams of gold by her Diwali activities. Quite a lady. She kept the entire family close knit, and one thing that shaped me the most, and probably this is what she shares with Ralph C. Smedley also, which I'll get to, is she never rested. She would constantly be at work, which she got from her grandmom. And she would always say, you know what, if you don't have any work, tear a piece of cloth and stitch it. Keep yourself occupied. Until her last day, when she was bedridden, she was occupied, mentally and physically, doing some or the other thing. Despite having a family of 9 kids, which had a family of probably, 50, 60 more, she would still work 12 to 30 hours every day. I think that's a testament. And that is why I really resonate with somebody like Ralph C. Smedley. He was persistent with Toastmasters, like most of you know, from 1904 till 1924, just to set up clubs. And after 1924, he did not stop and rest on his laurels. For the next 50 years, he showed up, continuing to expand the movement. But today, we're celebrating Mother's Day, so we'll not talk about the father of Toastmasters. We'll talk about the mother of Toastmasters, the woman that was silently the support system of Ralph C. Smedley. I might butcher her name, but it's Frances Bass Smedley, the wife of Ralph C. Smedley. Interestingly, they were married around the same time when Ralph C. Smedley formed the first club in 1904. So she saw each and every aspect of Toastmasters from its inception through the 6 failures and the constant movement of Ralph C. Smedley from state to state as he was trying to build different YMCAs till the point where it got incorporated, and much beyond through the 50 years that Ralph C. Smedley traveled around the world, especially America and then the rest of the world intensively. She was with him toe to toe. It's a testament, and it's a sad fact, probably a reflection of the time back then, that not much was recorded about her. But today we celebrate mothers, and she directly and more importantly indirectly nurtured Toastmasters as just a simple idea of amplified communication. How I would speak would probably go in, I'm speaking with the rest of you. A simple idea for the entirety of Ralph C. Smedley's careers. She and her daughter, Betty Smedley, had to sacrifice the evenings, the weekends, so Ralph C. Smedley would build a movement that we cherish and celebrate to this day. Can we have a huge round of applause wherever our energies are? With that, we come to the formal part of this evening. This evening, we will have 3 segments. One is the prepared speeches, the second is table topics, and the third is evaluation session. Think of it in this way. Prepared speaking is where better speaking happens. Okay? Table topics is where better thinking happens. And evaluation is where better listening happens. So you come here for better speaking, better thinking, and better listening. Okay? Let's begin with the prepared speech segment. And with that, I have a team to support me to go through this. The primary of that is the general evaluator. He has a hawk eye of the entire meeting and is looking at what has worked and what hasn't. This evening, the general evaluator has been a veteran Toastmaster at our club. Professionally, he has completed his executive MBA from Institute of Management Technology, Ghaziabad, and at present, he is a tax technology solutions manager at Avalara. Can we have Karunakar Dev rise and have a huge round of applause? And to support Toastmaster Karunakar, there's a band of individuals. The timer, the R counter, and the grammarian. The timer today is a recently inducted member, just like the induction you saw at the moment. He was inducted in the earlier part of January of this year. Professionally, he is a Java tech lead at Applied Materials Research and Development. Can we have Toastmaster Govind Kumar read out the timer guidelines?
Good evening, Toastmasters and dear guests. So on this Mother's Day theme, I realized the role of a timer is also similar to a motherhood. Gentle at first, then moderate, then strict. Now moving on to speeches. So for today's prepared speech, it will be a panel discussion. So the overall time allocated is split into two parts, which is of 20 minutes, then 4 minutes for Q&A. For the first part of it, 16 minutes I will show a green card. Then at the 18th minute I will show a yellow card. Then at the 20th minute a red card will be shown with a grace period of 15 seconds. For the Q&A, green card will be shown at the 3 minutes, yellow at the end of 3.5 minutes, and red card at the 4th minute with a grace of 15 seconds. For the table topics, green card will be shown at the 1 minute, yellow at 1.5, and red at the end of 2 minutes. I will report my timer to the general director at the end of the meeting. Thank you.
I love the analogy he brought up with the cards. Can we have a round of applause again? You know, when I see a new member like this, I remember a quote that I'd heard in this very hall. There are members who don't need Bangalore Toastmasters Club, but the Bangalore Toastmasters Club needs members like that. He seems to be one of them. Yeah. Moving on to the R counter. He is a credit officer in Small Industries Development Bank of India. Can we have Devashish Pradhan tell us the R counter?
Good evening, Toastmasters and dear guests.
Good evening.
Statistics says that the most sought after tourist destination for the Bangalorean is Mysore and Chikmagalur. Government knows that. That's why they build nice roads, including nice roads, so that when you travel, you don't make noise like ah, oh, or ouch. When you make this type of noise, that means you are uncomfortable. That's true. The same way when you deliver a speech and make ah, oh, or up, somehow you are uncomfortable, or the audience also sometimes get diverted. For that, I am the R counter here. I listen every speech carefully. At the end, I will inform the filler words like or or crutch words like so that you know, and repeated words like good, good, bad, bad, happy, happy, sad, sad. That means, frankly speaking, I will try to polish your speeches. Over to you.
These are turning into table topics, yeah? I like it. From nice growth that goes to Chikmagalur, to somebody who is from Chikmagalur, to a grammarian. He is the eldest member of Bangalore Toastmasters Club, a retired banker and a coffee planter. Can we have Richard D'Souza read out his guidelines, please?
Evaluator for the Toastmasters and distinguished guests. Earlier, maybe 50 years ago, there was a kid called typist. They were all beautiful people, but their qualification used to be SSLC. And their work was to type the letters written by the managers. Sometimes they could not make out the exact words written in illegible handwriting. When one manager took the typist to the task, she told, "Sir, I am hired for grammar and not for grammar." So, how well one can put across his point depends upon the language which he uses, and the language is nothing but grammar expressed through similes, examples, and so on and so forth. And today, my job is to make a note of good usage of English and not so good usage of English, and I will give my report whenever asked to do by the member bracket. Over to you, gentlemen.
With the tag team introductions out of the way, we move to the prepared speech segment of the evening, and we have a newly married, glamour quotient increasing member to evaluate the entire panel discussion. He is a MBA in marketing from TA Pai Management Institute in Manipal, a volunteer of Youth for Seva, and at the moment he is a business development executive at Gartner. Can we have Toastmaster Alok Simha read out the guidelines?
Thank you, Toastmaster. Good evening, everyone. We have an interesting prepared speech today, which is basically a panel discussion. The purpose of the project is for the member to develop a clear understanding of the ethical framework and create an opportunity for others to hear about and discuss ethics in the member's organization or community. Please note that he has already spent time designing his ethical framework, and today what we are going to witness is going to be a panel discussion where 3 members of the panel are in the club and 1 person is outside the club. So these are the broad guidelines. All the best to the speaker after an interesting panel discussion. Right. Back to you.
Thank you. It's rare that we get to see a 20-minute or 24-minute project at Bangalore Toastmasters Club. So I am excited. Are you excited?
Yes.
Discussion. Thank you. Well, to lead the panel discussion today, we have a veteran Toastmaster. He is attempting Level 5 Project 2, Ethical Leadership from Innovative Planning Path. The title of his project is Leading by Example, Translating Ethics into Everyday Practice. Timo, I believe you noted the updated time as well. He has been a treasurer, a VP membership, a VP education of our club, and a president of Chatterati Toastmasters, I hope I'm not messing it up, Chatterati Toastmasters Club. Over 3 decades of experience, he doesn't look that, over 3 decades of experience in medical devices industry. He is a medical TIS manager at Citiva, which is part of Paul Corporation. Can we have a huge round of applause for Toastmaster Ratan Shetty?
Dear members and dear guests, good evening to all of you.
Good evening.
As our Toastmaster today mentioned, I have this unique privilege of conducting a panel discussion, and it is going to be a fantastic session which will unearth so many views, so many insights from industry leaders. Are you all ready to embark on this journey?
Yes.
So, what I'm going to do first of all is define the panel discussion, although our Toastmaster today has mentioned what the panel discussion is going to be about. The broad topic is on ethical leadership, and the specific topic that the panelists are going to discuss about is ethics in everyday life. How to translate ethics into everyday life. And one by one, I'm going to call our panelists on the stage. And how are we going to welcome the panelists, fellow Toastmasters? So our first panelist is an IT person, and she has been in the IT industry for quite some time. She embarked on her journey as an entrepreneur, and currently she develops apps, and she is into a lot of other web development activities. What is unique about this individual is her never say die attitude and the leadership quality which is inherent in her, which we got to witness in her stint as the president of our club. Please put your hands together while you welcome our immediate past president, Toastmaster Chaitra Chandapillai as our first panelist. Coming to our next panelist, he is a veteran business leader from the chemicals industry. He's been a sales manager, and he's taken up various roles before currently working for an MNC. This person is an excellent example, and from the time that I know him, he is one person who's always, you won't believe me when I tell you that he's actually an introvert. Okay, so when I tell who he is, you'll start wondering what am I saying. Coincidentally, he's also a past president of our club. Please put your hands together while you welcome our impromptu speaker par excellence and esteemed panelist Toastmaster Vaidyanathan. Quickly moving on, we have an industry veteran who's been an IT leader, who currently works for a company called as Affinity Answers, who I know as an absolute data wizard. In Bangalore Toastmasters Club, if you talk in terms of data, there's one name that comes to mind. I'm not going to ask you for that name. Coincidentally, he is also a past president of our club. Please put your hands together for Toastmaster Vivek Vijayan. Next, we have somebody who's been in the IT industry, who's been in various different roles, and then he transitioned to a very innovative space, that of solar energy. In between, around 2 years back, he migrated to Canada, I think 2.5 years back. Prior to that, he was a member, and guess what? Coincidentally, he is also past president of Basha. And we invited him as the industry leader that he is, and for his unique perspective. A big round of applause to Mr. Somsekhar. So the rules of the game are quite simple. The entire objective, since the topic is on ethical leadership, our endeavor is to get the insights from our panelists, which I, as the moderator, am going to summarize and by myself, and I'm sure all of you are going to be finding it to be an enriching experience. A big round of applause before we start with the panel discussion. So the first question that I have is to Vaidyanathan. Vaidyanathan, what does walking the talk mean to you in professional life? What does walking the talk mean to you in professional life?
Well, it's quite simple, isn't it? So the easiest of the definition that you can think of when you say walk the talk is, from a leadership perspective, it's leading by example. Or we can also make it even more simpler by saying that there has to be a perfect alignment between how you act and how you speak. Because when it comes to leadership, the first thing that you might need to have is a sense of trust. Your team need to trust you, so that's why you become a leader. Or otherwise, you will have an authority and you will not have moral authority. So for me, the walking the talk means ensuring that your actions are in sync with words. So let me give you an example. I work for a company which focuses heavily, extremely heavily, high priority for safety. So any meeting, every call that we have begins with the safety premise. So we say that this is the exit route. These are not just for the sake of saying. Safety is something which is ingrained. And me as a person, so who manages a certain business in certain geography, if I move around with my teammates, if I don't profess safety as a first-hand principle, then I don't walk the talk. Right? So it's only on career. So I ensure whenever I visit any plant, so I use the overalls, I use the goggles, I use the earplugs. So this is just a small example. There are multiple examples that we can think of. So for me, it's like ensuring that your actions are in sync with what you speak. So that's for me is walking the talk when it comes to leadership.
Thanks, Vaidyanathan. So, as I understand from you, the perspective that you bring in is that your actions should reflect what you say.
Exactly.
And you give the example of the safety aspect, which is quite important in a lot of organizations. So, unless you profess it to yourself, how are you going to ask others to do it?
Exactly. This is one of the easiest examples that I can think of. But there are multiple other examples that you need to profess if you need to talk about.
Absolutely.
Because your team will not only look at you, they will also ensure that it's not the way in which you speak that will impress them, it's the way in which you act that will impress them. So if there is a disconnect between how you act and what you speak, then the trust is lost.
That's a very valid point. It's actually what you just mentioned about the fact that it's an easy example. What happens when things get a little tough? When there is pressure, maybe different kinds of pressure. It can be some financial pressure, it can be the situational pressure, or whatever. So, Toastmaster Vivek, I'd like to ask you, how do you stay guided by your values when making quick decisions under pressure?
See, walking the talk also means that people are judging you by the kind of decisions that you make as a leader. Even at home, you are a leader at some point in time. So, there used to be a time when I used to boil on it. But then, there is a framework, rough framework that I follow. That's called HHT framework. It's like hat, haircut, and tattoo framework. That means, see, when there's a decision, something like buying a hat, if the hat doesn't fit you, it's like a few hundred rupees. You can buy another hat, throw the hat.
but then many decisions can be reversed in a short period of time. And the value lost also is not much. So don't make too much fuss of it. Don't put everybody through the same hole of value systems. Just take quick decisions you can reverse. The next one is haircut. Haircut is a decision where you had bad haircut, like I have, it's like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, right? You get over it. There are things which can again be reversed, but it takes 2 or 3 weeks. So you have to be mindful of that. Then the ones that are tattoo. Once you have a tattoo, you cannot recover it. It's very, very expensive. There are situations where there are at work where you take some decisions which cannot be reversed. Then you will have, for example, choosing a vendor. And you have multiple vendors, choosing a vendor who stays long term. So, but yet there are some aspects that has to be covered. It is financially viable and things like that, which also falls under ethical things. So yeah, you go through that. So roughly, this apply this. You don't burn yourself for all kinds of decisions. Put everything through the value system. Not everything needs to go through that same tunnel of value.
Thank you so much. Actually, an eye-opener, the HHT framework, and so beautifully and so aptly put. And you began it by saying that you always imbibe these values from certain people. So that brings me to my next question, which I would like to ask Toastmaster Chaitra, that if you would be okay to share, who has shaped your view of ethical leadership and why is it so?
The person in my life who has actually helped me understand ethical leadership is one of my earlier managers. Her name is Saroja. And one thing I learned from her is coming in with the perspective of bringing out the best in the people around me. I remember I was very young at that time, stepping into the public field. And I remember my friends going through the same journey. The support I got from my manager was at a completely different level compared to what my friends received. And I could see those parallels very easily. So one is, she really made sure that she had my back when things went wrong. And she also regularly checked in to make sure that things were going smoothly. So I needed a little bit of hand-holding early on in my career, and she gave me that. But one thing I would like to also bring in is how the entire company was set up to follow these values, having fairness and openness. And I think that is also something that ensure that the entire company itself follow these same values.
Thanks, Toastmaster Chaitra. That's a very nice, very valid point which you brought up. Because that's a very important component in terms of the organizational ethics and being in sync with the individual ethics as well. And this brings me to the next topic, next question of mine, which is the fact that within an organization playing a role, there are different individuals. And within those individuals also there can be diversity. So all sorts of diversity, the gender diversity, the age diversity, all sorts of diversity. So my next question to you, Somsekhar, is how do you lead across different generations within a team?
Yes, for a corporate or actually any company to succeed, the team has to succeed. And gone are the days where we hired only senior people. Seniors were actually the old timers. That's how actually people used to be treated. But I think the wisdom is something we can learn from them. So the experiences they had. But they say they have not seen the future. That is where this young generation comes into the picture. So I personally feel that it is a combination of generation which really helps entrepreneurs or actually helps anyone to succeed. They bring a lot of value. But as a leader, what you should be really aware of it is, as the generation changes, the way we treat them or actually the way we work with them significantly varies. Now, you can't be sitting there in meetings, oh, this is a Gen Z, they are lazy, they are actually, they don't know. You can't pass those kind of comments. You have to be aware of the fact. The way you communicate with Gen Z might be different than actually like, the bardheads like right? So you have to be aware of the fact and respect these different generations. That will bring a lot of value. So I actually remember when I was in Cyprus Semiconductors, it's just his name is Hassan El Khoury. He joined with me. He's my peer. He became a manager. He became a VP. He became the CEO of the company in just 3 years. So the opportunity for this young generation also is simply amazing. Today is the CEO of OnSemi. Just young guys. So gone are the days that it's only the white hat which will bring you those positions. So generations and nurturing them is very important.
Thanks, Somshekhar. So, treating individuals as per their strengths rather than kind of bracketing them as Gen Z or as you said, very common way as such. But this point about Gen Z, when we talk Gen Z, we talk about something that has come up only for the past 3 years or 4 years. Maybe just 3 years, that the advent of artificial intelligence has happened, and now things are gradually, a lot of it is moving. So coming to this aspect, and before we move on to other aspects, so in sync with this aspect about Gen Z and about the difference in generations, now is the generation of artificial intelligence. So has ethical, my question to Toastmaster Chaitra is, has ethical leadership changed in the age of AI?
I think one of the biggest changes we've seen coming along with artificial intelligence is that it makes everything move so much faster. Right? A lot of people don't understand AI and they assume that it's a substitute for the human brain. It's really not. And I think that is one of the biggest challenges that we are seeing in corporate management. And the other thing that we are seeing with AI is people use it as a buzzword and throw it at everything they have, whether it's their marketing or their product. They use it as something to tick off boxes. So I would say one thing that leadership really needs to do is push back and more importantly understand where AI is applicable and say no to instances where it's not applicable.
Absolutely. So, as you rightly mentioned, it's important to use it as a tool, and the human using the tool rather than the tool replacing the human. I think that is where you were coming from. Now, coming back to the topic of ethical leadership and also under different situations that we've been discussing. Toastmaster Vivek, can you share an example where consciously avoiding bias helped you in a difficult situation?
It's not very easy to avoid bias because, as you said about AI, AI is bias. If you really ask, give me 10 names of doctors, random names of doctors, I'm sure 8 will be male and 2 will be female. If you ask, give me 10 names of nurses, 9 would be female and 1 would be. That doesn't really reflect what we want to really get. So biases, if AI has biases, which is a microcosm of the world, I also always have biases. Usually when there are biases, I just go by data. So then take the Excel sheet, give marks based on the Excel sheet. Sometimes you have all these problems where you have hiring. Then you when you to avoid biases during hiring, what you can do is to democratize the system. For example, in hiring, even if I feel a particular person is fine, but there are 4 people who interview in my team, and each person has a veto power. No questions asked. You say no, it's no. Sometimes I've cringed. Now will I get the next person? But the veto is a veto. That person gets a veto. So these are the kind of things. It's not usually easy to do.
Absolutely. Thanks, Vivek. So what you're saying is that it's the value that the person brings in which is important rather than kind of conditioning your mind that this person is this what this is what can be expected. Thank you so much for that. Again, one more question on the core principles that we discussed. Toastmaster Vaidyanathan, what principles guide you when influencing without formal authority?
So before I respond to this question, so let me add on to what Soma said, because this is something that I experience at Mr. because I'm in a position where I deal with a lot of changes. We deal with a lot of things. The hierarchy is non-existent. Okay, in any organization, especially the organization which I'm in, the hierarchy is absolutely zero. Okay, that the walls are in shape. So earlier, when I was a newbie, when I was a trainee, so I used to call everybody Sir. Sir, can you do this? So Sir has been the go-to for everybody who was even a month older than me. But now, hi. Okay, so people call you hi. Okay, any new person who is right fresh from the college calls you hi. And the amount of knowledge that they have in certain fields are much more higher than the ones that you have, okay, which you have inherently learned over a period of time. So that is where you need to shun your ego and say, oh, these are the areas where I need to take this up of this gentleman or this person and delegate them. Okay? So if you delegate more responsibly and if you treat them on par with you without having hierarchical level coming in picture, I think that this is one of the easiest way to manage team. So having said that, it's quite easy for you to relate to the answer that I said because I was relating to it. So the easiest option is you don't have the hierarchical nature in the way in which you understand people, in which you treat people as common. So one of the same. Okay, so that's the easiest way in which you can get the best thing out of your team members. Okay, and the second thing is provide them with enough of opportunities so that they can grow up rather than continuing them in the place where they are. Okay, so provide them enough of opportunities and treating them with respect. I think that these are some of the basic things that as a leader we might need to do to ensure that we get the best of the team.
Sure. So your take on influencing without authority is that once you democratize and once your team realizes the intent that they want you also to grow along with themselves, is that intent and that why. If you bring in that kind of brings everybody on the same page and they then are able to do that. This brings me to a question to Toastmaster Somsekhar as we at least conclude this part of the discussion. We've been discussing a lot of things with a lot of gravitas, but now let's try to give a little bit of a spin in terms of maybe a light moment or a memorable moment that comes to your mind when you think of leading by example.
Okay, leading by example. Well, I'm an electronics engineer, so I work more closely with the hardware part of it. So there was this point in time where I was leading an R&D team of a company called MRO Tech, and it's always, so IT they can relate it, it's always like, if there is a bug in the software, they say, oh, it's a hardware bug, and the hardware guys will say it's a software that will not test it properly, right? That's how it goes. So finally there used to be a time where to prove that thing, we had to do some soldering work, on the hardware. We had to inspect the board, and the technicians again, he's out. So I started, doing it on my own. I love soldering, I should do this hobby circuits and all that. Now, this I'm giving an example is, leading by example. Now, this created kind of an stir, I go there, sit in the lab, doing the soldering. Then all the technicians, started just jumping in. Otherwise, they would push their job away. So, leading by example, I think really makes a very, very big difference. You can see it right here in this club. I would like to mention Robinson D'Souza's name. Right, you come here early and you will see, he moving the chairs around, the lectern. I've seen it many times. I don't know the situation now, but that really forces us to do things. But at the same time, we need to be aware that there's something else happens when you lead the example. That is called this upward delegation. You start doing it. There is also that look, he's moving the chair, let him do it. So that as a leader, you should be aware that people are not taking you for granted.
With this, we end this round of the panel discussion. And before I say even another word, let's first thank the panelists for sharing all their viewpoints before we open up the Q&A session. A big round of applause for all our panelists. As I open the Q&A session, a few ground rules. The question that you ask, kindly direct it to a particular panelist. If you wish that any one of the panelists answer, then please mention it accordingly. So we have 4 minutes, and that is also timed. So please make it, please feel free to ask your questions and get the answer from the panelists, any one of them. Yes, please.
So thank you very much, and thank you for such a wonderful discussion. I have a question directed towards Toastmaster Vaidyanathan. I think one question that was asked by Toastmaster Vaidyan was that how is it that you influence without authority? And what you said is that by allocating people with their own specialty and letting them grow in that particular role, that is one way you can help people leverage their influence without authority. So I have happened to work both in the US and in India. What I have seen is that in both these different cultures, there is a difference in the way people work and organize things. In India, what I have observed specifically, especially in the chemical industry, since I am also a chemical engineer and in the chemical industry, everything goes hierarchical. So how is it that you think that that could be implemented in the chemical industry where proverbially the water flows from the top?
Okay, let me give my one example. So it's a great question to begin with. Okay, I manage the global strategic accounts. So that means I have a team of corporate account managers who are spread across different countries. But they don't report to me. Okay, they report to the respective country leads. But end of the day, I need to get things done from them. So is there a hierarchical structure that I can work upon, under which I can work? No, the answer is no. If I say that these are the things that you might need to do, point A, B, and C, then they may say yes, but at the end of the day, the things will not get done. The success of a person who doesn't directly report these stems from two important things in my view. One is you need to be competent enough to demand respect. Okay, first, educate yourself so well that you know what you're doing. Okay, that's number one. And the second thing is provide them with enough of opportunities so they also grow up. So that means in our industry, whenever I go to a particular country, when I go to a particular plant, I go along with my team members, and that's where the walking the talk comes in. So the way in which I approach a customer, so the way in which I narrate a story right from the beginning to the end. So these are the subtle things that you will do to influence person, even though you don't have an authority. That's one. And the second thing is, as I said, one is you train them. That's the first one is making sure that you are competent enough. And third,
By virtue of all this, you develop a sense of relationship with the person so that they don't say no to you. Okay, so the point I'm trying to make is improve your confidence, improve relationship, so that you'll be able to influence people for God. Hope it answers your question.
Thanks, Sri Harsha and Vidyanathan. There was one more question. You can take that one. Anybody else? No, I think just one more we can take.
So how do you value how do you value right means and right goals? So because you are in corporate industry where competition is so high, you say go and achieve that goal, employing beg, borrow, steal, or do you ask them to use the right means to achieve the goal? Because you are in a competitive corporate world.
Was the question? I was not really clear about the question. How do you achieve the goal?
Goal setting. How do you decide the goals?
In ethical way or unethical way? Because you are in a corporate world, the competition is so high, you ask your people to follow the right means to get to the goal, or do you ask them to beg, borrow, or steal but go to the goal? How do you get to this? Because following the right means is very difficult.
I would say actually that depends on the kind of leader you have. It is purely the value driven by that leader. So if it's a company which is driven totally by value, and they have that listed in their board meeting, then I'm pretty sure actually they wouldn't use the word beg, borrow, steal and build this company. At least I would do that. But I don't think there are any leaders who would openly say that. So it is purely the value defined by the board.
I think with this, there's one point, with this point about the leader, it ultimately boils down to, I think, to the people, and it boils down to the ethics within individuals. So, coming from this question, when we spoke about financial performance, we often talk about processes, we talk about a lot of things leading to the financial performance. I think with this discussion we can safely say that it's the people, not the processes, ultimately which decide and determine the performance, and the business outcomes are a result of decisions taken under all kinds of situations by people who are ethical leaders essentially. And with this, I think all our panelists deserve a big round of applause. Thank you, Toastmaster Chaitra, Toastmaster Vaidyanathan, Toastmaster Vivek, and Somsekhar for sharing your valuable insights. And I'd like to thank the committee for this opportunity, and to our founder president for helping me organize this panel discussion. And as you know, he's the epitome of ethical leadership. Thank you so much.
Well, don't go anywhere. The next session, we move from a panel discussion to a random discussion. That's what table topics turns out to be. And it's a lot of fun. Each of you get, 180 seconds to go use the washroom, respond to messages. The washroom is behind this wall, is an alley. At the end of it, on the right, you have the washrooms. You can access it from this and this door. Your 180 seconds break starts now. Please come back to that. Quickly grab your seats. And we begin the next segment of our evening, which is the table topic session. And today, that is also a project. And to be evaluated by our veteran Toastmaster, he has a postgraduate diploma in advertising and management in communications, and presently heads operations at Arana Homes and the Hidden Valley in Chikmagalur. Please give a round of applause for Alan Arana.
purpose of this project is for the member to demonstrate their ability to listen to what others have to say.
Okay, that was sweet and short. To take the fun segment ahead and to take this project to completion, we have somebody who is going to attempt level 2, project 2 from persuasive influence path. It's called active listening project, and he's pursued his MBA from Indian Institute of Management, Trichy, and presently is the Deputy General Manager of Pricing and Strategies at DTDC Express Limited. Can we have a huge round of applause for Toastmaster Nitish Kumar as the tabletop master?
Good evening, my fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests.
Good evening.
How are you all doing?
Well.
Excited for this part?
Yes.
This is the most exciting and my favorite part of the meeting, especially when I am the Toastmaster. So let's start. Are you ready?
Yes.
The first topic. If you can relive one day of your life, what day it would be? If you can relive one day of your life, sorry, my bad. Time has been noted. The time will be 1 minute. 15 seconds is the grace period. In 1 minute we show the red card and 50 seconds we will do. First topic. If you could relive one day of your life, which day it would be? If you could relive one day of your life, which day would it be? Toastmaster Ashwati Deja.
Thank you, Toastmaster, tabletop master, and good evening, everyone. So,
Good evening.
if I have to relive one day in my life, what day that would be? Yeah, if I have to relive one day in my life, what day that would be? So, when I was in school, my mother was working, and most of my time I have spent with my grandmother, and I was very close with her. I was brought up by her by listening to her stories. So even she passed away when she was 95. So that time I was in Bangalore, and in fact I was in my office meeting, and my mom called, and 2 days before her death she called me and told my grandmother wanted to meet me, but unfortunately I couldn't go there. So if you ask me which day I have to relive, that day is the day which I don't know.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ashwati, for sharing that wonderful insight. In fact, I do remember my grandmother and the time I spent with her when I was a kid. The next topic is we all have certain kind of skill sets. Now, some of are useful, some of it is not useful. What is the most useless thing that you are expert at? What is the most useless thing that you are expert at? Toastmaster Mission.
Alright, good evening everyone.
Good evening.
So I am to talk about the most useless skill I have. A skill I'd like to talk about is my ability to recall old memories. For good or for worse, on a lot of good days it feels like it's a great superpower to have. I'm able to relive some of my best moments of my life. But the flip side of that is the most embarrassing moments, the tense ones, or the ones which don't bring me a lot of joy, they are equally as photographic when I try to think about them. So that's one useless skill I seem to have right now.
Moving on to the next topic. I am your genie today. I give you one wish. You can either change your future or you can change your past. What will you choose? Toastmasters, Mahaleshwar.
I wish to change my past. In that, I would like to change the top subjects what I opted for. I would like to most interested in school and college. Actually, I was good in maths and science, but I didn't score very good, so I crossed over into humanities and so I was very much interested in tasks, design tasks, I draw tasks and very realistically I can draw and design tasks. So I would like to change my subject and go into automobile engineering and design cars and looking at that time I didn't know much, but currently there's a large opportunity worldwide for this kind of topic. So I'd like to wish for that.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mahaleshwar. If you ask me, I will definitely try to change my future. Past what has happened. No point of going there. Next topic. If animals can talk, which would be the rudest? If animals can talk, which one would be the rudest? Toastmaster Shamash.
Like all the animal which we all and each of the person which would be dreaming would be of course a dog, and I wish I had a dog, but due to my extreme circumstances I couldn't, but I love the dogs and everyone love the respect and their loyalty from the dogs. At least each of the person I here have most probably in their lifetime, in their house, they must be having a certain favorite dog which they love. I think we all wish that like they could talk to us, they could tell about their feelings rather than our current circumstances or problems which we go through. And if rest apart their actions, if they can express their love through their words, it would be more comfortable for us, and also it would get the creature, the animal, the dog would get an wholeness. Like, let's just say, like, we love the dogs and we showcase through the social medias and everything, but more than that, if they can express their love in an, not in an actional way, but in an words, it would be more wholesome to the both of the people. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shamash. The world would be a totally different place if only the pets or any animal could talk, right? Think about the chicken that you are going to do. Next topic. We all have chat, GPT, Gemini, and Cloud now, right? We ask them some random questions, whatever comes in our mind. Now, if ChatGPT has to summarize about you, what you would say? ChatGPT has to summarize about you, what you would say? Toastmaster Shreya Sadhguru.
I would like to say that I don't use AI that much, but I'm not bragging or anything.
But if I had to say that, if Gemini or ChatGPT had to summarize my personality, it would be that she keeps going on and on, she keeps beating on the bush instead of just asking this direct question. She can write a whole para about this, and at the end, just asking what color should I wear. In a wish, she would write the whole one para just for one question. Just that describes how much she has learned from Toastmasters, and that just how much she can elaborate such a small point into a very big story, and most probably she can just make it into a 5 to 7 minute speech. None of it would make sense, but still the audience would laugh. So over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shreya, for such a comedy. We are delivering the speech the way you do. Moving on to the next topic. There are movies which are good. There are movies which are bad. There are some movies which are so bad that it is good. Tell me about a movie which is so bad that it is good. Toastmaster Viresh.
So this is a big twist that I got in my life. Movie which is so bad, but still it is good. I can think of one such movie which I had gone in my college days because one of my cousins gave me such a wrong advice, and the movie name was Johnny Dushman. It was such a bad movie, but all star-studded movie, and there was no logic at all. The hero goes behind the heroine, and then at the other side, there are two villains fighting, and there also hero in real life, they are fighting, and somebody gets killed, but the person who got killed gets reborn and comes back into the movie again. And actually I got to know why this reborn story was fitted into this movie later. It seems the actor who was supposed to take a role went off from the cast. So he took a long leave. So this movie director, instead of getting the actor, he killed this guy and made him reborn. So this movie has so many twists after the movie got released, but still it was a very good movie.
The list of bad movies, if you ask me, I will say the director named Balakrishna. You should definitely know him. Moving on to the next topic. You have won 10 crore rupees. You have 24 hours to spend it. And you can spend it on 3 things. You have to please that money in 24 hours only on 3 things. Toastmaster Alagam.
I have 10 crores. 10 crores, I need to spend it in 24 hours. So I'll spend 10 crores in gold, silver, and I'll spend it and then I'll spend it to go to some good resort and stay there. Then I'll watch nice movie. Then I'll spend it like lavishly 24 hours fully. And main thing is I'll invest in gold and silver.
Investing in gold and silver is definitely a smart move. The next topic is you have to confess a crime. What you have done. It can be actual one, don't worry, it won't go outside this one. Or a fake. Toastmaster Chandrasekhar
Confess a crime, I think I'll tell the truth. So sometimes I wouldn't want to eat here. And when I finish the meeting, I'm offered sandwiches. And what I tell is I've already had just now. So I tell that and escape myself. Even during the midway, during the or at the start of the meeting, or could be speechcraft. So whenever someone offers me, please eat, I will say, I already had just now, and then escape myself.
Don't ask me, I'm not going to confess my crimes. The next topic is, tell us the worst lie that you told to your mom as a child. Tell us the worst lie that you told to your mom as a child. Toastmaster Prachi.
It's a fun topic, to be very honest. The worst line that I've told my mom is, I wish I could have been a boy. That is because I was not able to go out late at night, and me being me, I love exploring. Okay, so that was the thing that I feel was the worst thing, because come on, girls get dressed, dolled up, have a lot of fun, invest in jewelry, find boys, and that is come on. We don't accept that fact, but that is there, get so much of attention. So I think that is the line which I said to my mom, that sometimes she feels, why is she saying like that? I mean, doesn't she know the pros and cons of this thing? But I still feel that if I would have been a boy, what my life would have been, but definitely not as amusing as a woman, because women love to gossip, come on. Women love to gossip. And that is a fun, even though it is a bad thing, it is the good. I mean, amazing thing. Ineffable thing for a lady, to be very honest. So that was the worst line that I ever said, and I regret that.
My common lie was, no mom, I did not steal the money to buy chocolates. The next topic is, if you have to advise your 18-year-old self, what advice would you give? Toastmaster Sri Basha.
As an 18-year-old, I was not the wisest of the guys. I made so many mistakes. Mistakes too ineffable to talk about it. So what I would like to tell my 18-year-old self is that whenever my mom scolded me, do not run away from it. While in the US, I always had this desire not to talk to my mom, because every time she would ask, have you eaten? Have you gone out? Do you have friends? What are you doing with your life? But now that I'm back, I have realized each and every person has their own importance. Each and every person has that. Whether it be my sister, whether it be my mom, they all have their ability to influence me to what they have been through me. So I would like to say to my 18-year-old self to just relax. This is your mom, that's your sister, that's your family. Don't worry, take their advice. If you don't like it, just listen. Thank you.
And the next topic is actually a role play. You are a commentator, the match is extremely boring, it's a cricket match, and you have to somehow engage the audience. Toastmaster Vijay.
Ravi Shastri made a statement, and please excuse me for that. Ravi Shastri made a statement that Virat Kohli brings a lot of bums to the seat. Okay. Dear Roy Master, fellow Toastmasters, welcome guests. He made that commentary, the whole of India was listening to it. What I mean to say, sometimes with due respect to IPL matches, I also was a fan. With due respect to those who are fans, I think the whole thing is just doctored. It's kind of, it's perhaps fixed, I don't know. The way teams get out, it's so boring. And Ravi Shastri is one guy, one dude, when I use the word, he makes the matches interesting. It's an absolutely lopsided one-side match. It's going to get over, we know who the winner is. And he with his tone. Now this is ultimate. Edge of the seat, nail biting. What rubbish, what nail biting? one team is going to butcher the other team. And because there's so much money involved, he says things like that. Virat Kohli brings bumps to the seats, it's nail biting, it's going to go down to the wire, it's famous dialogue. So friends, trust me, those of you who love IPL, I am not against that. All I'm saying is don't fall for all this big talk by these big guys. It's a big waste of your time and money. Back to the boss.
And with that, we are at the end of this favorite topic session. We will hand over the stage back to Toastmaster Kaur.
The most beautiful thing about table topics is that a member braves through Bangalore traffic, sits through 2 hours to speak for 2 minutes. Isn't that fascinating? And if you think it's a wasted cause, I'm here to tell you every single member who came on the stage will go back braving that traffic again, thinking about the topic. I should have told this. Arey, this was a better response. Why did you not tell this? So that is something each and every one of us will go through and grow through as members of Toastmasters fraternity. With that, we come to the most paisa vasool part of a Toastmasters evening. The general evaluation session, the feedback segment of the evening. And for that, we have a veteran who has a good sense of humor, so much so that we call him KD sometimes. Can we have a huge round of applause for Karnataka Dev?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
We are running late already, so I'll keep it short and move quick. The meeting started at 6:20 p.m. today. The meeting hall, the stage, the speakers, the snacks, everything was ready by 15 p.m. So great job in setting up the logistics. Imtiaz, very well done there. And your natural speech delivery has clarity and conviction that we have seen over weeks when you took up the role of Southern. And you speak really well on the how to do it as well generally. I have a couple of feedbacks from what I've observed over time and what I've observed today as well. One is that sometimes you tend to go beyond the limit of 3 minutes, which is important. And we are notorious for spending over time in our meetings every single meeting that we normally see. It is important that we do our part. Even if you could reduce the speaking time by 20 seconds or 15 seconds, it can also benefit the club at large. And yes, I completely understand as SAA, it actually becomes tricky to introduce the same person week after week for 26 weeks. And sometimes the jokes doesn't fall the way that we want to. And President Amrith completely dismissed the motherly honor that you're giving them. Right? So it is important. And if you want to play something of this kind, you can always check with the person that you're going to interview that hey, I'm trying to be a bit witty. Is it okay? Will you be taking it up? So that it doesn't involve that in this conversation. Otherwise, for extreme preparedness, for high quality delivery, you deserve a lot of applause. And then we had the president inviting the BP membership, Toastmaster Balakrishna. Where are you? Right there, dressed for the occasion. You gave a short intro to all the newly inducted members as well, which naturally instills a sense of belonging in their minds when they come here. That's a great job, which is really good. And just a couple of points for you as well. Generally, shaking hand is good, right? We all shake hands with Toastmaster. But it is also important sometimes to give something tangible to the new members. We had a beautiful tradition of giving manuals, which Toastmaster discontinued, giving a physical manual. And also we used to have pins at least, right? So when this Toastmaster becomes VTM in a few months or decades later, when they clean their wardrobe and they will see that the pin that they got can actually bring some great memories, right? It is important to give them something tangible so that they can cherish it for a long time. But great job done, and massive shout out to all new people joining in.
you are part of our own family now. So if you have any questions, you have the community to help you make you grow better in your life. Thank you. Put your hands up for the PP And then we had the secretary Abhinava. Great job, Abhinava. You seem so delighted whenever you announce the winners of the previous meeting that if you have won. That's a great way of communicating and even showcasing that you are happy for the people around you. Great job. Put your hands up for him as well. And then we had the president coming in, giving her presidential address. And Amrith, you speak so naturally. We have seen you grow as a speaker from the speech club days. And today you spoke about your mother. And obviously, a lot of things are very personal. The gestures were natural. The movement of the stage were really amazing. You do really, really well. And also, some part of us become very emotional whenever we talk about mother. I remember when I was in my school, at 8th grade, when we were finishing off our holidays, when we were breaking out for long vacation, summer vacation, I remember very vividly even now, that my teacher, social science teacher, was just having a casual conversation. And obviously when we were kids, everybody would like to grow quick so that we can give away or get away with the studies and everything as well. So I remember telling my teacher that I just can't wait to get older so that I don't have to study anymore. And she told me something that I still remember even now. She told me that the worst part of becoming older is that your parents also start growing old. Right? So that is something that is with me even now. You spoke really well about your mother, about the family that you have. One suggestion that I have for you is not the role that you normally play as a president, but towards the end when you are presenting awards. Right? Now, sometimes the way you ask people to guess a certain thing can become very trivial and can come across as something which is not really well organized. But other times you do it fantastically well. Say imagine if somebody is a winner. So as a winner today we have this speaker who did that some stories. It doesn't have that conjunction every single time. But it works really well sometimes, right? Like people say your sharpest weapon can get both ways. So it can also something which you need to kind of work or fine tune so that it comes out even better. So put your hands up for everybody. Okay, and one of my problems is that I don't understand my own writing. Yeah. Okay, now I have the Toastmaster today, Puneet. He's a natural speaker, things going really well for him. And we have seen him grow as a speaker as well, the kind of confidence he brings in, the way he makes the speakers comfortable, the way he has remarked for everybody to pass after giving the presentation is something very admirable about it. And as a Toastmaster today, it is also important to stay connected throughout the meeting and you are the truth with us. So I even liked it when he commented on the tabletop master that you did not speak about the time limits as well. So that's something that was really well done on your part. At the same time, the only area of improvement for you is that you are a far bigger speaker to actually memorize a certain introduction about people. So I know reading placard is good, we all use it in a corporate presentation, but it would also add much more value in a presentation if you memorize those 2 or 3 lines about people and then come up. But otherwise, what a lovely presentation. He had put your hands up for him, everyone. And then we have table topics to evaluate, or rather, should I call this evaluator of the panel discussion to start with. Can I have Toastmaster Arhana to evaluate? Am I very okay? Hello.
I've been happy I'll be able to manage this discussion. One of the first things that I'm doing is, and trust me, it was a very different experience for all of us. I think that's a good starting point. Thank you again for bringing this to us today. It's not often that we have a panel discussion in a club like ours, and it just fit the stage so beautifully. I start off with that. Thank you so much and congratulations on a successfully completed project. Now, to get into the details, I felt there's always a lot of background work that needs to be done getting into a panel discussion. You have to identify the framework or the theme, then arrive at the specific point that you want to discuss, choose the right team or the set of panelists. I think that was beautifully done. All of them were leaders in their own right and have also led at the club. So it was a good amalgamation of panelists that was on stage today. And most importantly, getting them here. All of them have their own schedules to make sure all four of them attend the same meeting and took part in the panel discussion, especially when one of them is not a part of the club. That was really well done, well coordinated. The energy of the discussion was great. The speakers benefited from your energy at the beginning of the discussion. So they benefited from your energy and the way you asked the questions. I felt throughout the 20 minutes, we were all very engaged. We were listening to every bit that I had to say. So the energy of the discussion was great. And the guiding the discussion as a moderator is also crucial. I felt you had the right questions and a nice thread for most part of the discussion. Walking the talk, values, bias, leading cross generations, all of them questions which were very apt to all of us and cutting across the generations that are sitting here as well. So that was well done. And it was a good choice to use microphones because of that. I felt the entire conversation had a professional tone which was worthy of this particular stage. Now, what were the areas where we could have been better? Here is where it becomes a little subjective. I would like to share my opinion, but yes, I would have wanted you to clarify your point of view on the topic. What is your take on ethics or ethics in everyday life? Just to set the stage for us. If we were to, because a lot of us might think ethics is equal to morality, but it is the same or is it different? And when you're talking about ethics in professional life versus personal life, we could have benefited from your setting the context by about for 1.5 minutes. And where would you have found time for that? I felt you could have cut down time on the introductions to the individual panelists. All of us know the 4 people here, but what you could have done is introduce them and in context of the topic, where were they leaders or where are they leaders right now? Just leave it at that because all of us know Soma, Vivek, and the other 2 panelists, Chaitra and Vaidyanathan, of course. Now, the other part is, I like the questions, I like all the questions except the one on AI because I felt that was a little bit of a force fit to the entire conversation and it didn't sit in the flow of the entire discussion. Your transition between the responses and the next questions could have been better. Sometimes I just felt you said thank you and go on to the next. That's another point that I wanted to say. There were too many thank yous to all the speakers. Once you've called them on stage, you're already thanking them. So there was no need to have used so many thank yous after each question and each answer. The other minor observations that I have, I felt your hands were tied because in one hand you had the diary, on the other hand, you had the mic. So I felt your hands were tied. Maybe using a collar mic would have benefited because your one hand would have been free to use some gestures. The other thing is that your chair was at 90 degrees. Now something we learn in theatre especially is that your chair could be at 45. That means 45 degrees. When your chair is placed this way, you are attending to the audience and also the participants. When you are this way, you just focus here. You will not be able to see. That's another bit of feedback that I wanted to give. Finally, you could have had a volunteer to pass the mic for you in the Q&A session. That would have been arranged because Soma went out right from here to the audience to give the mic. Now, in a panel discussion, we generally don't want to do that to the participant. This was my little piece of feedback. I really felt this was an elite, erudite discussion on the topic, and it showed how well prepared you are, and you were. Congratulations, and we look forward to more panel discussions in the club. Don't worry. This was an exciting variety to the entire evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Abhay, for the detailed hello, Praveen. Rather, my only piece of feedback to you in the entirety of your moderation is sometimes audience picks up a certain trait of conversation. What sounded repetitive was my next question to you is, you could alternate kind of define that. Something like, if you could elaborate or I would turn towards you to learn more on certain topic. All of this change of words can also add dynamism to your conversation. But otherwise, a fantastic moderation and lovely thoughts by the panelists. Put your hands up for the best Toastmaster. Please welcome the Toastmaster Nitesh. Put your hands up,
with a purpose to demonstrate their ability to listen to what others say, let's see how our table topic master Nitesh Kumar fared today. Nitesh, firstly, I want to commend you on the fact that as a table topic master, this is very important. You appeared very relaxed and you had a very easy vibe. Sometimes we tell people come in a suit and all that, but that I don't think it's that becomes alarming for a table topic master. You had a very easy vibe, and that worked very well for table topics according to me today. Now, you had one very good thing about you is you had good eye contact. Not just when you were speaking to the audience, but even when you were sitting there, so much so that one speaker only was looking at you. And you were very shyly telling, please look that side. Right? So that was very nice because you listened intently and the speakers felt heard, which was excellent. Now, in terms of transition, I felt they were apt, but in many cases, I felt that though they added a lot of energy to the proceedings, in a lot of ways, a lot of them were pre-decided. What do I mean? If you're saying, what is your biggest lie, and someone came and told their biggest lie, you came and said, I can't reveal my biggest lie. Now, you are not actively listening to what the person has to say, but it is witty to hear and adds a lot of value. But in terms of your project of listening to what people have to say, that may not work. In some cases, you did listen and transitioned well, right? But that's something that you can definitely, work on. Another aspect where you would want to challenge yourself, because there are a lot of guests around. When you came in, you said, I'm very happy because I'm not you wanted to say table topic master of the day, but you said I'm Toastmaster of the day. Now the guest will suddenly be like, didn't Puneet just come? Even if you say that, it's good to, actually clarify. That's one. The other small aspect is, now, when you are speaking about your topic, in many ways you started giving a sentence, a preamble before the sentence itself. What do I mean? We all use ChatGPT, right? You're asking everyone. Don't have to say that. Just say, what would ChatGPT summarize about you, speaker? You would save so much more time. And because we were short on time, that would have really worked. But having said that, for getting people to speak freely, and all thanks to you, in a lot of ways they spoke freely and for a long time, in fact, right? Most of them got a red card also, and you fulfilled the project overall. With these minor recommendations added to your armor, you're only going from good to great. Nitesh, job well done. Back to the.
Thank you, Alan, for excellent evaluation. Put your hands up, both Now we quickly move on to the background, and we have Simon going on the stage. Put your hands up for Govind.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So today everyone was about time, and only the Q&A session of panel discussion, or we can say past president panel discussion, exceeded the 50%. Although it was for 4 minutes, it went ahead 6 minutes. And about the table topic, our very new Toastmaster Prachi finished the topic exactly in 1 minute.
Okay, moving on, as the counter we have Toastmaster Devashi. Put your hands up for me, everyone.
Yes, good evening once again. Today
as our founder, it was an easy job for me. The legends of the club like Sarjita, President, TMOD, Toastmaster Chekra, Toastmaster Vaidyanathan, Toastmaster Vivek, Toastmaster Somsekhar, no filler words, no crutch, no repetition, perfect polish. And moderator, Toastmaster Ratan took 1 hour and 5 hours and 1 minute. And during the table topics, Toastmaster Ashwasti 5 times so during the speech. Toastmaster Nivisa 2 hours, 1 and Toastmaster Mahadesh 5 times. Toastmaster Shamesh, Toastmaster Sriya, Toastmaster Giresh, Toastmaster Chandrasekhar, Toastmaster Kaji, Toastmaster Harsha and Toastmaster Vijay. And everything perfect. Only Toastmaster Alagame took 1 hour. Over to you.
Thank you, Rajesh. Now we have Toastmaster Rishabh to do the role of grammarian.
Toastmasters and distinguished guests. Today, there were plethora of good usages. I would cite few in the interest of time. Right? Didn't rest on his laurels. Amplify communication. Cherish and celebrate this day. Hawk eye. Formal authority and not moral authority. Don't put everything in value channel. Human using the tool and not tool using the human. Improve your competence. Conditioning the mind. Doctor. Going through and growth. Leaders by own right. Cutting across the generations. Ethics versus morality. Force fit. Elite and erudite discussion. And I didn't find any defective use of language. The word of the day I should have told ineffable, but Sergeant told it better than me. And the TMOD, Amrith Kaur and Toastmaster Prachi used the word ineffable in their speeches.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rishabh. The passcode for voting is 8526. Thank you. Okay, it brings me to the end of my role. I pass it on to the Toastmaster Principal. Put your hands up for him, everybody. Thank you.
And come on, can I have a round of applause for Karnataka as well? Well, it's Mother's Day that we celebrate, and the best note to end it with is probably gratitude. So to all the guests and the members, in a moment, I would ask you to close your eyes just for 60 seconds and thank your mom. Okay? If you're done voting, you can close your eyes and timer can start a 1 minute timer. 1 minute time. You can start for a minute. Please close your eyes and visualize, think, or imagine your biological mom, wherever she is, and thank her from the bottom of your heart for birthing you, for nurturing you, for making you who you are today, for sacrificing, for loving, and for always being there for you. Take this moment to really thank her for everything that she's done for you. And whenever you're ready, open your eyes. And with that, I hand the stage to our president to conclude today's evening. Thank you, and back to Toastmaster Amrith.
All right, what a fabulous evening today, right? We had 9 new members joined the club. We had a panel discussion, which has been, I'm not sure if it has been done at club or it has been done definitely after a very, very long time. Thank you, Toastmaster Ratan, for your initiative and running such a beautiful, insightful and elite, as Toastmaster Alok said, panel discussion. Can we have a big round of applause for every role taker and speaker? I would also like to thank you, Toastmaster Karunaka, a sign-off, an experienced Toastmaster, that we were running short of time and we were running late, and he completed his evaluation in a very crisp and precise manner. With that, we jump quickly to the award ceremony. And for our best auxiliary role taker, we have Toastmaster Govind. Best Role Taker Award goes to Toastmaster Puneet Surana. Best Table Topic Speaker Award, I see there is a tie. Toastmaster Shreya and Toastmaster Prachi. Best Evaluator Award goes to Toastmaster Alok Sinha. Now, I wish there were more panel discussions so that we could have given best panelist a moderator award. And with that, we end today's session. I request all the winners to come on stage for a group photo, and all the guests to please meet our VP membership outside after grabbing your snacks. Thank you, everyone. All right, I officially close meeting number 1526.